sounded really nice. Hey everyone, well, welcome back to the channel. Back on Turbo Camaro, we are working on the hot side for the turbo today. I went ahead and got the headers pulled back off, and then cut the other flange off this, like I did this side, and then kind of had it mocked up for a second where we're gonna throw the V-bands right on this side. It's right there. The V-band is just going to fit on this side right off the header. It kind of works out nicely that way. Kind of is in a really good spot to just weld it up there and then run a 45 off that down in front of the car. So yeah, that's what we're going to be working on. I have this 2.5 inch 45. I'm going to shorten a little bit here, and that'll be the driver's side like down pipe that comes down along the front, drops down a little bit, and then does like a 90-degree up and mounts the turbo right here in this corner. So that's the plan so far today. The passenger side is going to be a little more difficult because we kind of have to like come down and then around and then Y to that other pipe coming over so we can connect up to here. So that's kind of why we're building the driver's side first. Then we're going to get the turbo mounted on the flange where we want it. We're going to cut this out and get it mounted kind of where we want it, clock the inlets and outlets and make sure everything's turning out good. And then we'll kind of use that to make the pipe connect in between. So that's what we're working on now. I'm going to start cutting some pipe. It'll be a few pipe cuts, a few mandrel bends, but all in all, I actually don't think it's going to be too bad. So hopefully it goes pretty quick, but go ahead and put it on some time lapse and get us some cutting some pipe. Yeah, we went ahead and got the driver's side V-band tacked up just so I can kind of know where I'm going. But yeah, continue making hot side stuff. Alright, well, we got the hole mocked cut. I mean, it's cut out, but I don't know if it's going to work exactly there, but there's the hole where the turbo is going to go. Been making a few pie cuts, start mocking up a few things. Got the driver's side header back on with the V-band, so I'm going to start running this front pipe down over that way, maybe tacking it into place and seeing if we can start getting stuff rolling. All right, well, we got on the driver's side working on the front crossover. We got a 15-degree pie cut on the other side of the V-band now. So we may have to add one more to get it in the right position for that 45 to kick over to the front. We're going to start tacking that up and mocking it up so we can get the passenger side done, and then we can work on getting the tube that goes up for the turbo. But we're going to time lapse it and get this thing knocked out. All right, as you can see, we got this driver's side hot side from the header down. You can kind of see the V-band where it is right there. It comes off, kicks down, and then over to the front. And then we're going to have the driver's side. We're going to get that on. It's going to kind of just loop right around right in that region. And then it'll connect and then go up. So, got the other header out here. We're going to go ahead and get this cleaned up and then go ahead and put the V-band on that and then start working on that side. All right, so as you can see, we went ahead and got, now that we got the front pipe over, I went ahead and cleaned up the passenger header, got this V-band tacked up. I'm going to go ahead and get it mounted on the passenger side now. And then you just do the same thing what we did with this side, except just connect right here. So I'm just going to flip it over to time lapse and knock that out real quick, so we can hopefully get this turbo. I need to build the 3.5 inch to the turbo flange so I can get the turbo mocked up kind of where we want it. So after we get this kind of little piece done, after the time lapse, we'll go ahead and throw it over and make that little T4 flange mount. Alright, as you can see, we got the passenger side kind of kicked over. We're going to meet it right here at the end for the collector. We got this pipe here cut up and mocked up where it's going to go right here, and then we just have to mount that to that and then stick one more piece right in between there to get that kind of merge done between the two front pipes here. But real quick before I put those on, I do want to go ahead and, before I close off this video, we're going to just tack this to it so we can kind of know where we cut it out. So because I want to pull this back apart so I can get this pipe cut and all this stuff. So well, I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to go ahead and we got a piece of 3-inch pipe that we cut, and I'm going to mount to a T4 flange and go ahead and get that mounted. now so we can get the turbo mounted. We can clock it, we can see where we're going to put it, and then we can kind of finish this whole like merge right here to where the pipes are going to be before I go too far in case something doesn't work out over here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the flange mounted on the for the turbo, get the turbo on the flange, and then kind of set it in over here and play with the clocking of it real quick, and then probably going to end off the video there. It's been quite a bit of work done on the turbo stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and then we'll see what the turbo is going to look like. Alright, now I know we just got the couple of the front pipes put in on time lapse, so what I'm going to do now is take this little bit of 3-inch, and I have a T4 flange. I'm going to try to bend this, oval this pipe out a little bit, and try to get it to fit in around this hole a little bit, because this is what we're going to be mounting the turbo on. And then once I can weld this to the flange, I can kind of set it where I want to put it. Probably may have to cut this a little bit or angle it or do whatever, but we'll go ahead and get this on there so we can kind of start figuring out where we want to put the turbo. So I'm going to put it in the vise here and D this thing out a little bit. Oval it. It might be a little too big for this, but I think we can get it to work. We will see. It's definitely a lot bigger. Alright, so we got this fitting pretty good. It's a little oversized, so I'm just going to see if I can just weld it out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get this mill scale off this stuff so we can tack it up and I can start hammering it into the hole a little bit better. Plugging in always helps. I'm going to get this pipe tacked on the flange so you can kind of start working it around. Alright, well that's good and tacked. Start kind of hammering it into the hole a little bit here. Went ahead and just finished welded out the flange. It kind of fits nicely right here. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the turbo real quick. Throw a couple bolts in it. Then I'll go ahead and loosen up the bolts on the back side of the turbo so we can kind of clock it. And then I'll take it over and set you up and we can start filling with stuff. Okay, so the plan is, hopefully it fits kind of in there. I don't know if it will still be in that hole, but it's at least worth a shot. God. Even with the caulk down. It's gotta be difficult. I think we're gonna have to cut out a little bit more. Have to cut out a little bit more of that corner piece right there that you can see down here in the bottom. So I think the pipe's gonna have to kind of be back a little bit farther, and then we're gonna have to cut out a little bit of this core support so we can get the turbo down that way. But that's kind of where it's gonna sit. Now that it moves a little, it's a little easier. I think we're gonna have to cut out some of this, of the wall too, behind where the light is. Probably rip that out, cut some of this core support out so you can get it a little farther forward here. I think it'll go. Obviously, once we kind of get it where it needs to be. But I want to be able to get it under the hood. I think it can still drop down some, move back a little bit. Maybe even if we have to dent this inner fender just a hair. But I think cutting this stuff out right here is really going to make the biggest moves. But because I want to tilt it just a little bit more this way. And that way the exhaust can just run right straight out back and then exit the back corner fender here. So that'll make it nice. Yeah, still definitely have some more cutting to do up here. I want to go ahead and get this trimmed out. But now you can kind of see the exact placement of what it's going to look like. It's actually going to be pretty sweet right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there. Still, definitely in the next video I'll be finishing up the hot side, getting the turbo cut and placed exactly where it's gonna be, and that'll be pretty sweet. Get that hot side all finished, welded. And definitely next time we're gonna cut out this front. I'm gonna probably pull these lights right here too. Go ahead and get some of this cut out, get this hood latch cut out and these braces cut out, get ready for the intercooler. Start doing cold side stuff maybe in the next video, hopefully. I mean, definitely a turbo will be mounted. I may do some of the oiling, drain, and feed before I do the cold side stuff, just so I can kind of get the turbo where it needs to be. But yeah, it's it's a task, but it's actually looking pretty good. Pretty excited about it. So stay tuned for the journey of the Turbo LS Camaro. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, you know, make some comments. I can tell you guys are really liking the Turbo LS stuff, so thanks for the watch, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.